Welcome to the EndurHunt podcast. I'm your host, Angela Kosovic. Join me as I share my experiences as an emergent hunter and offer advice on how to overcome challenges and pursue your passion for hunting. This is episode 2, the 2023 application season, my personal goals and hopes for this year. I mentioned episode 1 of the podcast, which is me going over my background and my history as an emergent hunter, someone who grew up as really an anti-hunter, who had no interest in learning how to hunt. Didn't think it would be beneficial to me at all. I can really only hunt 1 week a year, typically. Last year, I really pushed it and had to sacrifice some vacation time and time with family because I got really lucky and I drew an Arizona late rifle elk tag in Unit 4A. I had only 1 point, which was amazing. It was my second year applying. Did not expect to draw that tag, and I had already committed to doing a hunt in Utah over-the-counter archery elk, public land hunt. So I pushed it last year and I hunted 2 hunts. That was really trying on me personally, from work, family life balance, and all of that kind of stuff. It was rough. I had a hard time. I felt like I was away from home more than I wanted to be. This year, I'm trying to commit to 1 hunt. My hunting partner is Peter. I also mentioned him on episode 1. He's the one who got me into Western hunting. Our first hunt was in Montana, and together, every year, we put in to hunt somewhere. We've hunted Utah twice now, Montana once. I hunted Arizona by myself, unfortunately. But we also hunted Wyoming pronghorn together. And so generally speaking, we have a plan, a rotation of where we think we might be able to draw tags. I have a multi-state strategy when it comes to applications, and I try to spread out the wealth of points as much as I possibly can. Now, this episode is not talking about application strategies and what I think that you should necessarily do or trying to unpack the Western hunting application mindset. I'm planning on having a friend of mine join the podcast. We're going to talk about it together. It's something that he has some interest in, and he has never gone out of the state of Texas to hunt. So that'll be a fun one. You'll have to tune in for that one in the future. But this is about my personal hopes and goals for this season. So Peter and I plan on hunting mule deer this year. Last year was elk. The year before that was pronghorn. And 2020 was also elk. We did a over-the-counter rifle tag for public land in Utah. We have not hunted mule deer since that first hunt in Montana. And this year I might be going back to Montana. Maybe. I have 2 states that I can hunt in. Montana, potentially. Depends on whether I draw it, the influx of people and the changes to their preference system. It's been interesting to see how you could technically have better odds with 0 preference points versus 1 preference point. Again, I don't want to get too much into the details there, but I'm planning on applying in that state because if I don't, I will lose my points. I purchased a preference point last year, which means if I don't apply this year, I forego my points. So I have to apply. And the second state I'm looking at is Wyoming. I currently have 1 deer point in Wyoming, which is not great. Wyoming's a great state, but I blew my deer point when I was there chasing pronghorn, thinking that maybe I would be able to pull something off in that unit. And no, that was not going to happen. There were a bunch of whitetail does, but I didn't find a buck. And I was given the timing and how long it took, I was only able to take my pronghorn, and took 4 days to do that. This year, I'm really focusing my efforts on those 2 states, Wyoming and Montana. The primary tool I use for all of my strategy and planning is GoHunt Insider. I'm going to say this even though it should be obvious given the size of my audience, less than 200 followers on Instagram, and literally this is going to be my second podcast. But hey, I am not sponsored or affiliated by GoHunt in any way. I just really love their stuff. Their GoHunt Insider, the application strategy articles, everything that they produce is top tier. Even the quality videos they produce on YouTube is just beautiful. That being said, I use their point tracker to keep track of my points, and then I look at their filtering 2.0 to try and determine which hunts are going to be available for me. I am very interested in hunting as often as I can. I don't really hold out for the top tier units because, let's face it, at this point I'm behind the curve. I'm probably never going to draw the strip in Arizona for mule deer. I'm probably not going to draw a lot of great hunts, but there are hunts that I can go on even if they're lower success hunts or lower trophy quality hunts. I still want to be able to go hunting out west every single year. And so right now, as of this recording, I'm waiting on them to release their Montana application strategy. Mostly because I want to see the draw odds that I have. Because If I have 100% draw odds for Montana, I'm probably not going to apply in Wyoming. I'm just being honest because, well, I'm just going to buy the bonus point. If I apply in Wyoming, I know I'm going to draw the tag. As of right now, I have 100% draw odds, so I can absolutely go hunting in Wyoming this year. I've got the unit picked out. I've done all of my research already. I am ready to go. But I'd love to go to Montana. I think that I would have a better hunt in Montana if I can draw the tag. There's more units that meet what I'm looking for. And so I'm really hoping that I'm able to draw this Montana tag, and then I'll be able to go and pursue mule deer in Montana. It'd be some sort of second chance at fulfilling that first hunt that I went on. I have not been back to Montana since, and I would love to go. But essentially that rounds out what I'm hoping for in the 2023 season. I'm looking at Montana or Wyoming for mule deer. I'm going to try and chase some whitetails here in Texas. Always try and do that. It's difficult. The public land here is not a lot of fun, especially not near where I live. The only curveballs that can get thrown my way are I apply to Arizona every single year. I don't bother with the point only in Arizona. There's always a chance that you can draw the tag. And I'm also going to be throwing my name in the hat for New Mexico. I've never applied for New Mexico before, mostly because I just haven't had the disposable income. But I've been saving and trying to dedicate some more funds to be able to put my name in the hat. It's completely random. And I know I'm going to be hunting in Montana or Wyoming. So admittedly, I'm probably going to reach for some units that are lower chances of me drawing. And if I draw one of those tags, or if I draw a tag in Arizona, I'm going to have a lot of soul searching to do because it's going to be hard for me to turn either of those tags in. That is what I'm looking for in 2023. I'm going to be banking on Montana or Wyoming for mule deer. We'll see what my fortune brings. If you're interested in my general philosophy in hunting, you'll have to come back when I record and release the episode that I'm going to have with my friend Taylor. He's here in Texas born and raised, and wants to go out hunting out west. I'm going to have him on as a guest, and we're going to go through his interests in it, as well as just breaking down what it's like to understand the point systems in these different states. So that's it. Wyoming and Montana, going after mule deer this year. That's the goal. Hopefully I draw one of those two tags. I hope that you have luck this application season. If you made it this far in the video, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop what you're applying for this year in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys are applying for. I wish you luck in the draw odds. I hope they're in your favor. If you're just listening on audio and you want more content, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Instagram. I'm at EndurHunt. I technically have a Twitter too. You can follow me there, but if I'm being honest, you're going to be disappointed. I don't really post that much on Twitter. I'm not a social media guru. I need to get better at that. But I appreciate it if you made it this far. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast. I greatly appreciate you. And again, I hope the draw odds are in your favor. I'll see you next time.